want your business to go to another level. You must try to learn and hear something new. So make the change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Testing Results, yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Tony Harris Taylor. Testing Results, oh yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome to the Drastic Franchise Connector Show. My name is Tony Harris Taylor, and I am your hostess with the mostest. Let me introduce myself. I am the CEO and founder of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, where I work with Zors to teach their Zs how to show up, be up, follow up to blow up. In other words, I teach networking for local marketing. I also am a franchisee myself with Network in Action, where we bring together business owners for more connections, collaborations, community, get some coaching so they can make more cash together. I'm the founder and executive director of Multicultural Franchise Connectors and a certified franchise consultant with Drastic Franchise Matchmakers. Welcome to today's show. Today's theme and guest, we're going to talk about what others say about you matters. My guest is Michelle Rowan, and we'll talk about how we met later. But Michelle is with Franchise Business Review. And Franchise Business Review helps franchisors get their franchisees honest feedback so that they can sell more franchises. And so what people say about you matters. In other words, what are your clients saying? And by the way, Zors and Zs, your clients are the Zs. What are they saying about you so that you can get more referrals, more connections, more community, more collaborations? So I spend a lot of time getting reviews. And if you haven't been to my website, you can go to tonyharristaylor.com and you can click on reviews there, or you can go to LinkedIn. And I have over 100 reviews on LinkedIn. Why do I spend time getting these reviews? Because I want to share what other people are saying about me, because I can tell you how great I am. And I will tell you with modesty and humility, but I know I'm good at what I do, but it comes off so much better when other people say that you are great. And so are you spending time getting reviews? And a lot of small business owners are not doing that. The franchise space, you guys are pretty good at it, even though there's probably still some work to be done. And shout out to my client, Susie Liberatore with Franchise Clarity, who has the way to automate reviews. But are you really putting in the effort to get reviews? And I'm going to take it one step further. Are you using those reviews in AI to help you to create the content you need to attract your ideal customers and your ideal franchisees? So when we come back after this break, we're going to talk to Michelle Rowan and talk about why this all matters and why honesty matters, and what franchisors can do to ensure that they're getting the feedback that they need to grow their brand. We'll be right back with my guest, Michelle Rowan. we're back with my guest, Michelle Rowan. How are you today?
I'm great, Tony. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. And I'm so grateful that you took a little bit of time out of your very busy schedule to talk to us about Franchise Business Review and why what others say about you matters. So go ahead, in your own words, introduce yourself.
All right. So I'm Michelle Rowan. I am the president and COO of Franchise Business Review. I have been with the company 20 years. I was the first full-time employee that was hired. So I started as a salesperson for the organization. So this is my only role in franchising that I've ever held. I'm extremely passionate about what we do. So it has been a real pleasure working with franchisors and franchisees and helping to grow this business, because I do think it's so important, not just to the organizations, to the franchisors and franchisees, but also to help people looking to buy a franchise understand that they are choosing the right brand, the right products and services, so that they can be more successful when they join the brand.
Absolutely. Wow, I didn't realize this was your only role
Yeah.
in franchising. Wow, and you've helped it grow. How many team members do y'all have now?
We have about 20 people full-time with us now. And I technically, I did work for a franchisee. I started my career in the Sheraton hotels. So I guess I was in franchising through that, but very, very low admin and on a large sales team. And that was kind of my first taste of franchising.
Wow. How have you seen franchising evolve? And now, why do reviews even matter?
Yes, that's a great question. So when I started 20 years ago with Eric, my father was actually a franchisee of a brand as well. He was just becoming a franchisee of that brand at the same time that I found Eric. Eric is our founder, Eric Stites. He started the brand coming out of a web portal, I will say. I think most people know what that is. So it's a big directory of franchise brands that are looking to sell. And you nailed it in your intro to this conversation, that every franchise brand is out there to grow. That is, they're supporting their existing franchisees, but they want to grow. That's how they make this model work for them. And that's why it's important for them to focus on their existing franchise owners, how the model is working for them, so that they can be the best franchisor, presenting the best opportunity for new people to come and join it. So I met Eric, really loved what he was doing. And what it was 20 years ago was calling on franchisors and trying to convince them why they would even want to work with an outside company to get feedback from their franchisees. And I'll still remember one of my sales calls that I made. The person said, "Why would I want that in writing? Then I would have to do something about it."
Oh.
And I was shocked. So how franchising has changed is how our whole world has changed in the last 20 years, and that everybody understands the value of getting feedback. I think we see it more. You mentioned in your intro, which I loved, was, and I loved the quotes that came up from seeing you speak. I've had the pleasure of seeing you speak, so I know your impact that you have on people. But nobody wants to hear what you have to say about your product or service.
Correct.
They want to know what others have to say, what their experience was. A franchise is a very large investment. So if you think about the number of people that are going on to Amazon and reading reviews before they make maybe $100 purchase, you should be very, very sure that anybody that's willing to spend $20,000 up to millions of dollars is also looking for what other people are saying about you. So that is why this matters. And it's not just checking a box off of getting the feedback. It's how you respond to it. It is asking, what are we going to do with this, as far as being grateful that we've received this feedback? How are we going to use it to make ourselves better? How are we going to use it to help ourselves grow? So I think it's not just checking the box off of getting the review. It's exactly what you said, is how are you using this to make improvements or to share your story?
Okay, so let's talk about that franchisor who got honest feedback.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what they wanted to hear.
Yeah.
So how do they, without naming names, tell us a scenario and how you all help them?
Yes. So we work with franchisors. We invite, actually, we'll start kind of back it up. We invite any franchisor that has at least 10 franchisees open and operating to participate in our research on franchisee satisfaction. So that is our greater That is our greater goal, is to aggregate all this data so that the people that are doing a full blown out project with us can benchmark their brand against the whole rest of the industry on that data we've collected, or against their segment. So if you're in business services, how do you compare to other business services? Because you know that a person looking to come into your brand is probably looking at other opportunities. So how do you stack up compared to them? So we start with a basic set of questions. All the work we do is confidential. So any brand that has come and done this work and scores low, their team is the only person that has access to that data, and they have insights not just into their data, but how do we compare to others? Where do we really need to step up our game? So that's kind of the first step of it. We ask questions around the training and support that the franchisees receive. We ask about the financial opportunity, the culture. So we're asking what we think are the basic questions that every person looking to join a franchise would want to know before they move forward. So that's kind of the structure, whether you have a product or service, whether you're retail or food. These are the questions that cross all of franchise opportunities. Then the franchisor can customize it. They can add extra questions around anything that's specific to their brand or their team. So if they want feedback on their field coaches that are out supporting the franchise owners, they can do that as well. So all that work is confidential. We also get feedback from employees. So we can do that with their corporate teams. So they really understand, do we have a place that other people want to come and work and help us grow this brand? So we're getting feedback from all of their stakeholders, is what we call them. So they go through that work. I will say, Tony, you asked a great question. What happens when they think it's going to be great? They can use it as a sales tool and they get that honest feedback, because if you're doing internal surveys, it's a great place to start. But sometimes franchisees will tell you exactly what you want to hear. And we found that especially true with founder-led brands. You have a different type of relationship with them.
Correct.
So the first thing that I'll do, we take everybody through their data. So we will help kind of help them understand how to go through this information. It can be very, very hard. And I will say that. And sometimes because we look at it before we share, we'll tell them that they might want to have a cocktail while they go through the data. It might help them. But really the main message is feedback is a gift. I mean, if they're telling you, if they're not telling you directly and you get it through us, they could also be telling that to candidates or to people in their market when they're talking about your brand. So knowing what their perception of your brand is their reality, and you can't build that relationship. You can't build trust with them. You can't repair or step up and be a better franchisor if you don't know what they're really thinking and saying out there.
Correct. Very good. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and continue this discussion. And I love Michelle. I'm going to tell y'all how she changed my life when we come back. We'll be right back. Are you a corporate renegade? That is someone who is frustrated with the rat race of corporate, or maybe you were recently laid off of your job. Or perhaps you're an entrepreneur looking for your next stream of income. Hi, my name is Tony Harris Taylor, and I want to invite you to have a conversation with me about how franchising, becoming a franchise owner, can take your life and business to the next level. It did for me. I purchased my franchise in 2019, turned around my primary business, and now I want to help others to do the same. Hop on my calendar and let's chat about how franchising can take your life and your business to the next level. Talk to you soon.
Another government job or your own business. Decisions. Jobs are no longer secure. This is the reason you should consider your own business. Start from scratch? Risky. Franchising gives you a business with a blueprint and 8 out of 10 are successful. Plus, 63% aren't food businesses. Some are even home-based. Options are power. Download your free guide and see if franchising is your next move.
Isn't my team amazing? Those videos are fire.
Yeah.
Even the cartoon has
it looks just like you.
Awesome. Okay, so Michelle, talk to the franchisors who might be hesitant to work with you? This is an investment, all right? So why would I put in this investment? You said a lot of it, but why would I put in this investment and I might not have I might get my feelings hurt?
Yeah. Why would you pay us to hurt your feelings? Because so what we have found in our data is the most important correlation in our data to a healthy franchise brand is the I trust my franchisor. That is the question when we look at our top performing brands as far as our scores and growth in an FDD. That is the number one correlation. It's not about money, and it does make sense. It's not all about money, I should say. That if they don't trust that you have their business and their success in mind, and that you're only focused on the growth of the corporate brand, they will fight you on every single change you try to make, on every idea you have. So that established relationship and making sure that your existing owners are successful and engaged is the fastest way to help you grow. So if you're not there, you not addressing those issues, or you spending money to exhibit at a expo, or to pay to have leads come to you, those people that come to your brand, when they talk to your franchise owners, they will. It's called a validation call. It's an important step. They will kill every deal if they don't believe in your brand and what you're doing. Correct. I think a lot of franchisors will say, they're not going to jeopardize the success of our brand by telling a candidate something that's not working in the brand, but it's not true, because what we're talking about is people investing sometimes everything they have to join a business. And so it's everybody's responsibility, the franchisor, any outside partners they're working with, and their franchisees, to paint a realistic picture of what it's like to run that business. Franchising is not a silver bullet. It certainly gives you very good tools to be successful, but you have to work in your business.
Correct.
And
Correct.
And I think you do a good job of coaching franchisees of what they need to do in their market, because I think another fallacy is, I'm going to buy this franchise and they're going to do all the work for me. They're going to send people my way. And it's not true. They are certainly a support. They're going to offer you a lot. You're going to have access to other franchise owners that are doing the same thing as you. So you have this built-in network, but you do have to work. There is hustle in every business. And so if you think it's just an investment that you can cash in on, it's not the case. You do need to work the business. So that's why I think people should work with us.
I agree wholeheartedly. Another question is, so let's say they didn't come out with flying colors.
Yeah.
What do you do next to help them meet their standards? Is there something?
So Eric, our founder, likes to use the analogy that we're the MRI, we're the X-ray. We point out the areas of improvement. We are not the people that are going to come in and consult and help you fix those issues. Okay. So we will give you kind of a guideline of, here are things that other clients do to work on these areas. But we have built up in the last 20 years relationships with fantastic outside partners in franchising that we're happy to introduce you to if there's something that you need help in those challenging areas that you can't take on with your team. So again, we don't want to get into that model of pointing out you have an issue and then we're going to be the ones to fix it. There's something a little bit off about that. But we recommend people that have done good work for other clients and that we respect, that they're members of the International Franchise Association. So they are going to help you do things if you can't take it on with your internal team.
Awesome. So let me tell you how Michelle helped me. So I met Michelle in 2023 at IFA. I gave this some thought. So it was 2023 at IFA. It might even been 2022. That was my first IFA ever. And of course, instant connection. We had our first date. She learned more about who I am. And I think that was your first FBR conference in Austin. Was that your first one?
Summit. So this will be the 4th year. So yeah. So 2022 would have been our first.
So it was 2022.
Yeah.
And so she said, Tony, I want to give you 10 minutes on stage. And for a speaker who's used to teaching and training, 10 minutes is like, y'all would think that would be easy to prepare for. It is so hard. But I was like, I'll drive. Yes, let's do it. She gave me 10 minutes. Immediately, a couple of brands ran up to me. We need you. We need you. And to this day, let me tell you how that has trickled out, Michelle, because I don't think you know this. When a brand hires me, it's not just me speaking. I become a part of the family if I like y'all. And I haven't met a brand I haven't liked yet.
I was going to say, who don't you like, Tony?
So I'll name them. Bricks for Kids. The son was in the room when I spoke, Emmanuel. The father was off in a breakout. He called his dad on the phone and said, get into the main room. You got to meet this lady. And he's like, what lady? I'm in this breakout. He's like, get in this room, Dad. You got to meet this lady. We met. Instant connection. They hired me to come speak at their conference. And when you hire Tony too, I'm not plugging me, but I got to set the stage. When you hire me, I don't just come in and leave like a lot of keynotes do. I did 2 talks, emceed their awards, played at their team building event. I mean, it's all in with Tony. But then I liked the brand so much, I introduced them to an independent franchise consultant. They are now, he's their outside franchise development. He sold all of Vietnam.
Oh my gosh.
Vietnam. Then they're off to London and Dubai, flying around the country, world together. I made that happen because you put me on stage.
I love that.
So, and now that I'm a franchise consultant, when people hire me, I can go sell the brand. Is that insane?
Yes.
Michelle, a simple act of giving me 10 minutes has changed so many lives you don't even know about, which is what networking is about. Yes. So my next question is, how has networking helped you in your business?
So, well, first of all, I will talk about our first time that we sat down and had a conversation, because I know this is what you'll tell other people is you ask other people what you can do for them first.
Correct.
And so that is my 100% nature of I just want to help everybody. So you actually made me feel uncomfortable when you said, how can I help you? Because I don't get that a lot, especially I think our brand has a great reputation. So we are approached all the time of we should partner, we should do this. And it is, of course, beneficial for the other company, but people don't come at me and ask me that question. So I've gotten better about having responses to that question now because I was just taken off guard. People don't, for some reason in franchising, people aren't as kind to suppliers as they should be. I will say that they don't tend to see the value that they bring to businesses, and franchisors will sometimes just, be focused on their particular problem, where your sponsor partners really have a bigger macro view of what's going on. So when I met you, number one, what I knew was franchisees don't want to hear it from their corporate team. Don't tell me how to do my job. Don't tell me how to run my business. But you bring in another franchisee, which is what you are, which is what you've done. You've built a business. All of a sudden their ears are open. And your message is so important in that no matter what business you're in, you have to be involved in your community and you have to be involved in building those network connections, because you don't know where the next thing is going to help you. Like you just mentioned, that chain of events. So how networking has changed me. Number one, I have had fantastic leaders in my career that have always advocated for me and lifted me up. And so when I came into franchising, that was my mission. I was very, very passionate about bringing more women and more people of color into franchising, because it has a long way to go, but it is better than it was 20 years ago. So number one, I got involved. I got involved with the Women's Franchise Committee through IFA. I'm now on the Supplier Forum Board. I can't express the amount of real, true friendships that I have that have started just from networking and figuring out how we can help people. I've gotten very quick at knowing who is valuable to my audience, to my clients, to my friends. So it doesn't take long to know that there's people that I can help, and that these are people that will be in my life to help me grow. So, I mean, one of my best friends it started as a client, Paul Pickett, which people will know that, but he started as a client, and now he is, he's like an uncle to my child, and my whole family loves him. He's like a brother in my family. So that is how networking has changed my life. I'm also in a Vistage group. Like you can't continue to learn and grow if you're surrounded by people that just think like you, look like you. It's important to have other perspectives to make you a better human and to make your business better. So that is how networking has changed my life.
Awesome. Awesome. And in turn, you change other people's lives.
I try.
You do it right. You do it right. Too many people are selfish with their networking. And that's the mission I'm on, to try to teach people, especially in franchising. Stop looking to your franchisor to do it all. Show up, help others. Others in turn will help you.
Yeah.
Well, here's my last question I ask everybody, and that is, what's your biggest drastic step you've ever taken in life or business?
Yeah, my biggest drastic step was joining FBR. So I had a very comfortable job. I was leading a sales team. I was very, very happy. And just had this, I wasn't in a hurry to find something else, but I had this interest to come back to my local community. I was on the road a lot. And that was the biggest risk I took, was being employee number one, leaving all of that stability. I think I got a lot of my entrepreneurship from my dad. I had that. I love small business. I love helping business owners. And I'm really proud. I feel like we have influenced better behaviors in franchising, and my hope is helped people make good investments to become franchisees in the right brands. It's very scary. I also am a business owner with my husband. We have a brewery. That's his full-time job. It is not easy to be a business owner, and I have full respect for it. But I think that was my biggest risk, was leaving something that I knew, leaving a good paycheck and going and taking that risk. It's panned out for me. But then also I support my husband, which a brewery is a very, very hard business. We're hit by tariffs, we're hit by costs of material. So I get to see sides of it. And so I think I'm still in my big drastic move on my husband's business, just supporting him. So it's every day.
Awesome. Well, I love you. I thank you. And let's do a shout out for the conference, FBR conference coming up.
Yeah. So, and I appreciate what you're doing with your new efforts too. And for the FBR Summit, I will just say I'm really proud of that. It's all operations focused. We are there to help franchisors better support franchisees. But we also have a very strong commitment to having new voices and new faces on the stage, which is why I gave you those 10 minutes. Franchising can be very much the same people on stage at every event. So we are passionate about giving people that have those skills and those education topics that can really help business owners. So come if you want to come and see some new voices and connect with other people that are focused on supporting franchisees. But we have fun and we learn. And Tony Harris Taylor will be there again this year.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Well, thank you. Go to fbrsummit.com.
fbrsummit.com, October 22nd in Austin, Texas.
Yay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. Tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
So tons of free resources for franchisors and candidates. If you go to our site, franchisebusinessreview.com, I'm on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me with email. If you can't reach me, I would be very, very surprised. I'm pretty accessible.
Yes, it is LinkedIn, or call me. I'll hook you up. All right. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. Tony. We'll be right back with my final thoughts.
If you think franchising isn't for you, think again. Here's how Multicultural Franchise Connectors is changing the game. At Multicultural Franchise Connectors, we believe in the power of diversity to transform the franchising industry. Our mission? To empower underserved multicultural communities with the knowledge, resources, and connections they need to confidently explore franchising opportunities. Did you know that less than 15% of franchisees are minority-owned? But we're not stopping there. MFC's 4 pillars: guide successful business owners in franchising their operations, help potential franchisees interested in purchasing franchise businesses, support business owners to supply their services to franchises, or assist individuals to secure employment opportunities within franchise corporate offices. MFC is designed to break down barriers and open doors. Through comprehensive workshops, mentorship programs, networking events, and expert consultations, we're paving pathways to economic empowerment and community growth. And come 2027, we'll be offering grants to help you secure the financial support you need. Join us today and become part of a thriving multicultural franchise community. Visit multiculturalfranchise.org for more information. Empower your future. Empower your community. Together, we're making franchising dreams a reality.
I want to thank Michelle Rowan for coming on. Michelle is amazing. She actually is one of the people who gave me the courage to start the Multicultural Franchise Connectors. If you are interested in the MFC or becoming a franchisee, reach out to me. Get my free ebook, drasticfranchise.com. Join our community at skool.com/MFC, where we are helping franchise dreams come true. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Reach out to Michelle, reach out to me, and let's change lives together. This is Tony Harris Taylor saying take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow, and we'll see you next week. Bye.